Hey everybody, this is Kat with Agency Zoom. Excited to have Chris Paradiso joining us this month for our Agency of the Month. Chris, I don't think I need to say congrats. You certainly know that you guys do a fantastic job. I probably should send an email out to your staff thanking them for putting up with your nonsense on an ongoing basis. But all the same, congrats. We're really excited to have you guys as our Agency of the Month this month, especially inspired by your guys' community involvement. Anything you kind of want to share as we kick off and talk about that?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to be able to share some of this with so many agents.
Yeah, of course. So most of you guys are used to watching our Agency of the Month interviews, and we like to focus on something that, that particular agency just excels in. And I picked community involvement as we approach Memorial Day and a lot of holidays where people are able to be involved, but especially Chris's team, because community involvement, while it is something that we should go over and above on in certain holidays, is something that they do day in and day out. I have tried to convince them to automate sending out a handwritten thank you card. It's the 21st century, it's possible. And Chris has fought me tooth and nail, and his staff does too. His staff loves writing their actual little handwritten thank you cards through and through. So, Chris, maybe help other agency owners who don't do a lot of community involvement, help them with where do they start? How do they find their shtick, what they're going to enjoy doing and be able to follow through on, especially obviously on holidays, but every day, the way you guys do.
I'll back up. I think the independent agent and insurance agents do more than any other industry. Any other industry. When people say you do more, Chris, and your team does more, I don't believe that. What we do better, in my opinion, and what I stress when I speak to agents and agencies throughout the country, is focus on not being the center of attention, but focus on being the center of the hub. So your goal is to be the chief, and how do you tally and bring troops behind you to recruit others and recruit the community to get behind the cause that you're fighting for? So I don't think I do, or my agency does, any more than Claudia McLean or Ryan Cassell and Hitchinson's, who do a great job. They come out here and they love the Bikes for Reading. They take it back and they do it. We just share that. It's just a matter on what an agency does socially, digitally, and print-wise to get the media and recruit the troops. That's the only difference. But there's an awful lot of agents that write way bigger checks than I do to community involvement events and causes. So I don't want to say that I'm, what we do is we try to magnify it tenfold. And I always say the amount of money I make isn't nearly the same if I can recruit 1,000 or 2,000 people to get behind a cause where we can actually make a huge impact on whatever event and or cause we're fighting for.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you're encouraging them more to serve as a hub, serve as like a center of influence, pick your passion, and then serve as a hub for more volunteers to get involved, to talk to your other commercial clients, even to get behind you as well.
Yeah, I mean, why not build the relationships? Why I laugh when you say automate. What we do, we love automation. We wouldn't be with Agency Zoom if we didn't like automation. We love automation, but what we love just as much as automation is handwriting. Hey, Kat, just want to thank you very much for the time that you were able to spend with me, or thank you very much for volunteering and helping us on our Flag Day event. It was a massive success because of great people like yourself who actively took part in making the event a great event. And that handwritten note card to me is invaluable. My staff believes in it. Nobody doesn't like a handwritten note card or postcard or whatever that written note is. It's just vitally important, in my opinion, to saying that you're not just a number where we just mass mail 10,000 postcards out.
Sure.
You're more than that. So
yeah.
What I am saying as on the recruitment is how do you take an event and just helping an agent really understand this? For example, whether it's the Easter egg hunt. Well, here in my town, I got ticked off when a parent called me and said, hey, our select person doesn't believe in an Easter egg hunt because they believe it's religious. I have never heard of an Easter bunny that's religious. And I said, and even if it was, what's Christmas? You have Christmas off and you work for the town, right?
Yeah.
Christmas isn't a religious holiday. Let's remember that. Why are we going to punish kids that are in grades 1 through 5 on an Easter egg hunt because it's religious? So you tick me off. What do? I'm going to go right to the chief of the fire department, get him. And then I'm going to go right to the ambulance department, and I'm going to get the head over there. And I'm going to bring a crew together of community activists.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're on year 7. This year was 7 Easter egg hunts. Over 10,000 eggs put out. You're talking 500 people within the community coming out. Kids, you know, we put a golden egg where they get a bike. So there's a ticket in there. All those eggs have candy. We even have several people from the senior center who stuff eggs, and they bring $51 bills and they fold them up and they put the candy and they'll stick a $1 bill in there. I just love to see the kids open it up and see $1. That's what a community is about, right? So why I give that example is, you know, a guy like me, I'm not going to stand there and think, let our kids political BS in the senses of stopping a kid and kids to be able to do an Easter egg hunt. We got to recruit the right people for the right cause for the betterment of the community. And that's what we have to do. And how we do that is through community outreach. Reach out to the right people, the right staples in your community who have the power and effect that we can make that difference and make that thing happen. Now I don't even have to be involved in it and the thing runs fine.
I was just going to say that. I think that's a good point too, is when you're the hub, you can control a lot more of the narrative and make sure that the right people are brought in. But when you go participate in the hub, something that you care about and maybe even build a huge, agency culture around can be pulled away, whether it's political, economics, even that suddenly this idea doesn't make money anymore. Like, whether it's a dinner, like a soup kitchen type thing, or it's a silent auction, if it suddenly isn't making money and you're not at the hub of it, that, thing that once mattered to you can get pulled away. So how would you encourage a small local agency to balance whether they want to participate in a hub or like start their own hub? Like, where would you help them make that trade-off?
The number one thing is you got to have passion behind the cause. If you don't have passion behind the cause, my sister was born, and some people get offended when I say this, she was born with mental retardation. It's not a terrible word. It might be politically incorrect, but there's autism, there's Down syndrome. My cousin's Down syndrome. My sister is not Down syndrome. She's not autistic. She was born with mental retardation, and she is different. But different is beautiful in my eyes. So why I say this is I have a passion to fight alongside with my father for people with disabilities. And Kerry Wallace always says this, and I smile because let's stop talking about disabilities and let's start talking about abilities. The disability word in the labeling stinks. So with that passion, it's easy for me to go to recruit and find people. I found friends. One of my bestest of friends was a professional boxer. He trains with me every single day. His name's Ray. He looked at me after about a year or two getting to know my sister, just in our beginning of our relationship. We're 12, 13 years of best friends now. He says to me, if I don't fight for people who don't have a voice, I only dream that if I died today, I have 3 daughters. And if I died and they didn't have a voice, that would break my heart and kill me instantly. I have to fight for people who don't have a voice. So now all of a sudden he says, Chris, your passion just comes out. It's like, now all of a sudden he's on the board of Journey Found, helping me help those with those disabilities who can't help themselves.
Sure.
So what I would say is you got to start with your brand. What is your brand? And everybody takes a brand as a brand for making money, but let's take a brand as what are you passionate about? What's your agency passion? What are you passionate about that? Take that passion and expand it from there. For example, my grandfather came to this country in 1911. He didn't speak English and he did fight in World War I. I have a passion for our soldiers. When
Mhm.
he died in 96, he said to me on his deathbed, which I have hanging up, he put on a napkin, basically about 5 lines, fairly, you could read it because
Right.
he wrote as he spoke, which he was Italian, and he always wanted to learn good English, but fish would be not Fish. It's funny when you look at it, what's on the wall. But so that passion for me in supporting men and women who not only are serving this country, who have served, and for those that have died, it's easy for me to get behind Flag Day. It's easy for me to do our Flag Day event because it's not a political statement.
Right.
It's a statement of passion that I say, my grandfather fought in World War I. My father served this country. Um, I have many uncles, Marines, Air Force. It doesn't matter the service. At the end of the day, it's easily to get behind a cause. So take that passion and find the cause. Another big thing for me and later in life, because most people wouldn't realize, I was labeled as learning disabled. And people say, well, how did you get to where you got to? Easy. You have to improvise. And my biggest disability that they always labeled me, and I was the guy that left school to go to another school to get extra help in reading. So what do? I do at least 2 books, audiobooks a week. And it's been something I've been doing now for many years because you have to get around things, right? Reading is so important. So started a program called Bikes for Reading, and we started that 7-8 years ago. And what do? We're in the local schools, and kids have to read, and their parents have to sign off. And once they reach 70 hours, their name goes in a hat. If they reach 140 hours, they get 2 tickets in the hat. They get better chances. We pull the hat, we pull out of the hat a name, and we give bikes away in grades 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What better way to reward for reading, in my opinion, is we
Right.
got to get kids to read, right? It's a passion of mine. So take that passion and run with that passion, develop that program around whatever passion you have. And you will not fail. You will succeed.
Yeah. I think there's a certain level of sincerity that comes through too when you ask someone, like you said, and it's passionate. When somebody else is the hub and you ask a friend, like, hey, do you want to come along and pass out flags? I'm going to this event. It not that it has to be about you, but it's not about you at that point. It's
It
like,
isn't.
yeah, just come along. When I say, like, I'm super passionate because, like you said, my grandfather came here and then served, and my father has served, and things like that. Suddenly it's, well, this really matters to my friend, or this really matters to a business that I work with. In that hub, like you said, that influence, even with your friend that's a boxer, is so much more like heartfelt and sincere. I think it comes across then differently too of, you're asking somebody not for just a donation, but for their time. There's a
Right.
lot that just comes through a lot better when it's
No
something
question.
you're truly passionate about.
No question. And the key thing and it's not about Chris and Paradiso Insurance. It's about the team. What causes and how we rally the team around. For example, right now, May We Never Forget. And we work with a Veterans Base Camp is the name of the organization. It's a nonprofit. These men and women have served and they're homeless. And so they took sugar shacks, old sugar shacks, and they convert them into really small apartments. But at least the veterans aren't homeless.
Right.
And May We Never Forget is only trying to accomplish one thing. The government does help them with some dollars and cents around meats and potatoes and things of that sort. But of all their funding, condiments aren't included. So they, with their stipends and with their monies and with their allotments, they can't buy ketchup, mustard, relish, salad dressing. So what are we doing? Well, how can I or any other person say freedom is free? Freedom isn't free. It's been paid for by these men and women. So the
Yep.
least I can do is to go and my job is to say, hey, can I get the community? If we can raise 1,000 pieces of this, I'll double it. I'll double it. Okay. At the end of the day, if we all just do a little part, it makes it so much easier. And
Yep.
we could make a difference in the world. It's, Mother Teresa always says, people want to change the world. Go home and hug your kid. Go home and hug your kids. Go home and hug your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
It starts at home, and it starts on a very small level.
I completely agree. I participated in college in an organization called Pay It Forward because don't quote me on this, we'll see if my memory is right. We'll fact check it later. I think 1986, Woody Hayes gave a speech and he quoted, Ralph Waldo Emerson and a woman named Catherine something. I just remember her and I sharing the same name. And the whole speech was about pay it forward because you can never pay it back. And it can be something small, like you said, the man that he cited had not intentionally given some huge lump sum. He was never in a position financially to give $500,000 to the university. But what he did was, I think, head up the Department of Agriculture at the school. And he took over his, 30 or 40-year tenure and doubled food production because of, plant genomes and all the changes and such. He doubled or tripled food production in the Midwest based off of the research and everything he taught his students, over that lifetime.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. And you see that ripple effect. And if you think of it as pay it forward, do the work now, the little kind things. I mean, it seems silly, but on Mother's Day, I was fortunate to get to go see my mom. And I know there's plenty of moms with the pandemic that weren't, didn't have a chance to see their families. And there was a woman behind me and you could see the car seats. I don't know if she had the kids in there or not, but behind me in the line for Starbucks, I'm like, I don't know if she's seeing her mom today. And certainly the little nuggets in the car seat can't buy coffee yet. Silly little things like that,
goes a long way.
Yeah, like it cheers everybody up. It makes them more receptive when their friend says, hey, can you come along with me? I'm going to buy 1,000 packs of mustard. Like all those little things
Absolutely.
come together. So yeah, I really love that. And I know you guys have your big event coming up. And like I said, I wanted to talk about, I appreciate the May We Never Forget, Memorial Day is meant, and I know you follow it, it is meant for the men and women, anyone serving that did not come back.
Correct. And that's a mishap that most people don't understand. Yep. They go around thanking veterans. I always say every day is a good day to thank a veteran.
Absolutely.
Right? Every day is a good day to thank a farmer. Mm-hmm. But on Memorial Day, let's also understand it is the day to memorialize those men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice for us. Yep. Freedom isn't free. And understanding that versus understanding Veterans Day. Most people don't realize September 18th, is POW MIA Day. We don't know if there's still men and women. We don't know that.
Yeah, halfway around the world somewhere that are still waiting to be found. Yeah.
Waiting to be found. And it's those are all days that we, I don't want to say we play off of to market. We market them to bring awareness that our agency believes in standing alongside. So Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Flag Day, which is June 14th. It's a huge day for us. And really what it's about is respecting the flag and what goes behind that flag. And if people don't understand what the red, white, and blue and the colors, remember what the red stands for, bloodshed. And I can't forget that. So the respect for the flag comes for the respect for the men and women who have given everything. Some gave all gave some. It is a simple fact. Some died, but how about all the men and women who come back who are altered? How about great agents who serve this great country, like Bob Klinger? The guy is a Purple recipient. I mean, he's a Purple Heart recipient. The guy gave everything for you and I. I'm a huge fan of Bob's. I'm a huge fan of so many other veterans who have done so much that are independent agents, and there's so many that aren't. And at the end of the day, we're going to honor those people, and we're going to bring our community together and respect every soldier, no matter serving during wartime or not. They did their time. And I mean, every day I remind my kids, we give thanks for those people who believe in our freedoms.
Yeah. Well, I think there's also something to be said for knowing each of the holidays and celebrating them and participating and supporting people on each of them. Because there is, like you said, Memorial Day is remembering the people that didn't come back. It's also, it can still be thanking a veteran because he maybe stood next to his friend who did not come back.
Absolutely.
Or a husband or a wife that their person did, or, a mother or a father, a sibling that their person did not come back.
Sure.
Like you said, Flag Day is,
But what better way to be able to take advantage? And here I'm going to plug for Agency Zoom because I've been a CRM user since '09, from when my first CRM tool that we implemented, which was actually the end of '08. But we have videos on YouTube, the real meaning behind Memorial Day, the real meaning behind Flag Day, the real meaning behind Veterans Day. What better way to be able to create that video and be able to push that out through a CRM tool and to really educate our customers? Everybody wants to sell. All I want to sell is our brand, who we are and what we stand for. And I want to ensure people who are aligned with what we believe. I'm not against other people who disagree with me. I just would rather ensure and align with people who do respect the flag, who do honor our men and women serving. And there's going to be people that listen to this and say, hey, I wouldn't buy insurance from you. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'll take the stance that I need to take, and I'm okay with that. I know that who I stand alongside with, and I'm proud to stand alongside with them.
Yeah. I think there was somebody a few years back now, I went to a sales coaching seminar type thing, and the gentleman up on stage said, every sale you make should make your next sale easier. You should be becoming more and more authentic as you go. You should be bringing on customers that encourage other like-minded customers to join you. And I think when we think about community involvement, it's not a sales thing. It's like you said, it's being involved in something you're passionate about. Whether you're there and ever say, I'm Chris Paradiso, or you say, I'm Chris Paradiso, and yes, I do own the insurance agency down the road. Those are, irregardless of each other. They're unimportant. It's the fact that you're there, and eventually, you're going to have good customers, and you're going to have a good community built around you through your customers.
No question.
That are able to help.
We're all aligned with something. It's just a matter of what. A lot of people don't think about that. We're all aligned politically with something. If I wear a mask, which I do, and it is the American flag, people are going to say something. What am I aligned with, right? Politically. They automatically say, oh, you must be this. You must support this. I support the flag.
Yep.
You can think anything you want. But remember, we're all aligned with something. We're all taking a stance with something. Even we could say it. We just had this conversation. We were at a car show last night. What type of car you drive aligns you politically somewhere. It's crazy, right? The type of car. Absolutely. It's just the way we look at everything today. Everything's a political stance. The flag is a political stance. To me, it's never been political.
Well, I think it gets back to me, and this is me also coming out of politics over the years, I think everything can be political.
Everything can.
Being political doesn't have to be right or wrong. I can have a different political view. You're supporting the troops. The thing that I, actively support is St. Jude Children's Hospital. My best friend, you mentioned your sister, she works as an art therapist with children who do have a whole host of developmental disabilities, are on the spectrum, you name it. And her thing is, art is a way that it's, in the eye of the beholder, and it is their ability. She has said that before, and I love that you actually said it. Yeah. So yes, there is.
It's in their abilities.
Yeah, it's
not their disability.
Yes. So I think that's the thing. I don't think anyone has to feel like being political one way or another is wrong. I think our country has turned it into something, unfortunately, that there's a left and a right and a right and a wrong and all of these things.
Oh, sure.
But political alliance is just how you feel and where you spend your time and resources. And like I said, I don't think it has to be right and wrong. So I think that's the nice part about community involvement, and the fact that even your community involvement all the more is focused on human beings who care and
absolutely
give for more human beings.
Absolutely.
It's hard to disagree. There's no reason in the world that you can't thank a veteran, whether you agreed with the U.S.'s political involvement in World War I,
absolutely.
Irregardless, like thank the veteran.
Doesn't matter. Because I always said, when people say, well, what would you take a stance if you didn't believe politically and you didn't go? I said, the first thing I would think of, my brothers and sisters who I failed to be there to defend. It's not about a president. It's not about the politicalness behind whatever those stupid war is, because all wars are stupid.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. What it has to do is, am I going to stand alongside with the brothers and sisters who took a vow to defend each other and fight for the betterment and for the cause, right? It's about them. It's not about, to me, it's not about politics. Now, some people will argue and say, I'm not going to die for a political stupid war. I look at it and say, I can't, if I am called, I have to go because I need to protect Cat or whoever else is along my sides out in the field. So, it is what it is. And we're not, the best quote I will ever repeat is Winston Churchill. You have enemies? Good, you stood for something in your life. My grandfather always repeated, stand for something, don't die a jellyfish. We all need to stand for something.
Yeah.
Think about a useless jellyfish. Jellyfishes are useless. He fished every day of his life. And he always say, what's more useless than a jellyfish? And I was like, well, and he's like, remember, jellyfish don't have backbones.
Yep.
It's a strong statement.
I think that's probably a really good spot to leave our agencies with. We try and keep these to a half hour for everybody. So I think that's a good spot to leave everybody with, that if you pick something that you're willing to stand up for, that's going to help other people and is sincere and thoughtful, and you can be the hub to it, you can bring other people together, you're going to be able to do it on your terms, do it to your financial means, get the people that really matter involved, and then there's no excuses,
And always implement. If you're using agency Zoom, create that YouTube video, plop it in there, send that out through your CRM tool, and it's amazing on how magical your brand will really resonate with your customers and prospects.
Yep. Shameless plug, but I love it.
I love CRM tools. I've loved them for almost 12 years. So.
Well, appreciate it. And congrats again to you and the whole team. You guys are awesome. I know this is not the beginning of the season for you guys because you are doing it, 365 days a year, but it's coming up. Really big ones for you guys. So best of luck as you head into, obviously, your Flag Day and all the rest of the summer events here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kat. Appreciate it.